Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for our debate is this house would legalize multi-partner marriage with any gender. We define the topic as love not only knows no gender, it apparently knows no number. Multi-partner marriage are calling polygamy, a man with more than one wife, and polyandry, a woman with more than one husband, and polyamory, multiple men and women all married to each other, tumble out as naturally as same-sex marriage. We, the Affirmative team, believe that this statement is true. We are agree about legalizing multi-partner marriage with any gender. Today, as the first speaker, I will be talking to you about the country legalize multi-partner marriage and human rights for multi-partner marriage. Our second speakers will be talking about reasons why the multi-partner marriage are happening, and our third speaker will rebut and sum up our team case. A study by the US-based organization Loving More at 2012 that 65.9% of more than 4,000 polyamorous people said would want to marry multiple people if such marriage were legal. So that's why this house would legalize multi-partner marriage with any gender. It is included in human rights. The marriage of three gay in one relationship as polyamorous took place in the Medellin on June 8, 2017. The so-called trouble in Colombia have been hailed as having the first legal union between three men in the world. Manuel Jos Bermudez Andrade, Victor Hugo Prada, and Alejandro Rodriguez are all in a relationship together. They live in Colombia city of Medellin. Say they had to fight to be seen as his partners and get access to his pension. It made them all the more determined to get legal recognition of their relationship. We want to validate our household and our rights because we do not have a solid legal basis to form us as a family. Victor told Colombian radio station LAFM. Victor explained that he and the two gay men had signed official papers with a lawyer in the Medellin who established them as a family unit with inheritance rights. This form us as a family, polyamorous family. This is the first time in the Colombia, he said, quote, Thursday. Seen from the case above, it would not have violated human rights if a country could not legalize up the multi-partner marriage with any genders. It is breaking up Universal Declaration of Human Rights, or PBB, of Rights of Legal Equality. The legal status of polygamy varies widely around the world. Polygamy is legal in 58 out of nearly 200 sovereign states. The vast majority of them being Muslim majority countries in Africa and Asia. Polyandry is illegal in a virtually every country. A number of countries permit polygamy among Muslims in their communities. Some countries that permit polygamy have restrictions such as requiring the first wife to give her consent. And countries that recognize polyamorous marriage, such as in Africa, such as Algeria, Cameroon, Central African Republic, Republic of the Congo, and Gabon. Both men and women can join in polygamous marriage with the other gender under Gabonese law. In practice, the right to multiple spouses is reserved for men only. And then Libya and Kenya. In Kenya, polygamy legal under legislation passed in 2014. And then Asia, Afghanistan, Bahrain, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Brunei, and Indonesia, except for in the province of Maluku, North Maluku, Papua, and West Papua. And then Iran. In Oceania, such as Solomon Islands. One example of most reason why multi-partner marriage is not problem, such as a woman in Australia left her husband for a polyamorous relationship with another man and woman taking the children with her. When her husband sought a court to order to gain custody of the children, the judge rejected this case, saying the threesome seems to be thoroughly decent and honest people, and I do not regard the relationship as being damaging to the children. This is human rights, and even children don't get anything bad about it. So it's only natural for this house would legalize multi-partner marriage with any gender. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Nadila Oktavia from Negative 1. I disagree with Affirmative 1. I want to repeat statement from Affirmative 1. Current legislation in most countries, a person while still being lawfully married to another commits begin a criminal offense. Supporters of some such marriage have generally such argument or mock them as scaremongering that polygamy should be the next horizon of social liberalism. But there are also solid arguments against such as interpretation. And there are many good reasons, practical and moral, that multi-partner marriage should not become a liberal cause. The battle for some such marriage was won, but in courts of law and in the court of public opinion, yet the legal rights and benefits of modern heterosexual marriage are gender neutral. In a free society, the private sexual choice of adults should not be criminalized, but they are not automatically until to cultural approval or societal support system. Polygamy, where multiple women share a husband, it tends to occur amongst a small number of Muslims. At the moment, there are many good reasons to keep hub and speak polygamy illegal. However, multiple marriage in general should not be prevented. A recent survey of 4,000 polyamorous people showed that nearly 2/3 of them would be open to marrying multiple people if it were legal, like in most countries except this as a polygamy. It is illegal to marry more than one person in Colombia. Marriage is not just a formal codification of informal relationship. Polyamory is a race. The marriage equality movement has been both the best and worst thing that could happen for legally sanctioned polygamy. The claim is frequently made that division of property upon divorce or deed would be too complicated for polygamous marriage. Its polygamy tends to be found within religious tradition that seem or regressive to be rest of us. That is a function of the very illegality that should be done away with against polygamy, though apart with even a little examination, while important legal and practical questions remain unresolved. With the Supreme Court's ruling and public support, marriage equality is here to stay. Typical of such argument, the reason why marriage between more two partners would be destructive were taken as a given.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for the time that given to me. I'm Hesty Nandya Anggraini as the second Affirmative speaker. We are the Affirmative team. Agrees this house will legalize a multi-partner marriage with any gender. The first, I will tell you about what is polyamory. Polyamory or multi-partner marriage is a report by Wikipedia. Polyamory refers to romantic behavior of humans same at more than one person. Even different from the marriage in general, this polyamory is not always done with the opposite sex, but with same-sex people who are more than two people. Regarding to the polyamory demographics, the personality testing website released a survey of 1,300 people to find out their opinions about relationship with many of these partners. The data showed that 59.8% of people are not involved in a polyamory relationship. 25.5% are interested in trying it out, and about 7% each claim to be involved in or have been involved in polyamory. Then, the social view of multi-partner marriage or polyamory cannot be used as a reference that the government must prohibit and not legalize multi-partner marriage, because it returns to the human rights that are honored by everyone and should not discriminate against them. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I will give some fake and reason why multi-partner or polyamory can occur. Research found that only 3 until 5% type of mammals, including human, are truly monogamous. Report by the Live Science website, Pepper Schwartz, professor of sociology from the University of Washington, Seattle, states that humans are not monogamous beings. Some research also consider monogamy in a social and sexual context to be more of social culture than a natural trait. Daniel Kruger, social and evolutionary psychologist at the University of Michigan's School of Most Other Mammals, were meant to have a relationship with more than one woman. Because of the child's consideration and to create a bond with him, humans evolved and made commitments with one partner. John Lancaster, an evolutionary anthropologist from the University of Mexico, taught life science. The scientific fake is one of the factors why some people choose alternative types of a relationship, namely polyamory or multi-partner marriage. Apart from the assumption that humans are not naturally monogamous creatures, there are a number of reasons people choose polyamory. First, the type of relationship is considered healthier than monogamy in the context of maintaining social network. The Conley and Moore study entitled More Oxygen Please, How Polyamorous Relationship Strategies Might Oxygenate Marriage, quote by the BBC, found the fake that polyamory people tend to maintain their friendship with partners and are less likely to cut off contact after breaking up. Other reason presented by the author of polyamory in the 21st century, love and intimacy with multiple partners, Deborah touched on the Psychology Today website. Some people use a polyamory as a way to meet various needs ranging from to sex spiritual. With related to fulfilling sexual needs, polyamory is seen as an effective way to make a person's erotic life more colorful when he experiences burnout with his partner. There are also those who see the potential polyamory for cultural exchange, looking for fun and feels natural from them to another motivation for people to choose a polyamory. In addition, some people who choose this type of relationship see it as a form rebellion against religious values or family expectation. The emergence of various dating applications seems to provide its own impetus for people who choose polyamory. The culture of making love without the bond of a relationship made possible by him inevitable made the non-monogamous relationship plural, according to Chris Messina on CNN. Choosing to deal with more than one partner is indeed in line with the nature of humans who are not monogamous. However, the commitment to pair up with one person who has long been formed cultural is not without consideration, starting from the economic, emotional, legal, and so forth. Being involved in polyamory does indeed carry variation, give rise to opportunities to get to know more about yourself and test experience, expand networks, and reduce the boredom. However, keep in mind that humans are rewarded with envy as a natural their natural emotion. Once this emotion is repressed, it will develop into jealous, which in turn has the potential to trigger conflict in the future. So, ladies and gentlemen, from some of the points above, we can conclude that the government can legalize multi-partner marriage, and it does not violate human rights or legal provision, because essentially human beings are free to make their choice. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Rosita Purnama Sari from Class B. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Rosita Purnama Sari. As the second negative speaker, we disagree that this house would legalize a multi-partner with any gender. The second speaker from the affirmative team has tried to tell you society has the right to choose a partner to get married. We the negative team disagree with this statement. Ladies and gentlemen, in July this year, 3 Colombians were credited with having the first legal union between 3 men in the world. The 3 men signed a special legal contract formalizing their union, but it was not a complete marriage certificate because it married more than one illegal person in Colombia. There is no Western country that allows marriage according to law between more than 2 people. They also do not provide strong and equal legal protection, for example, rights relating to children. People involved in polyamorous relationships are considered by law to be no different from people who live together or date. In law, and first have threatened several people in police relation with a prosecution for adultery, even though their relationship is like to like. Ladies and gentlemen, should liberal democracy allow the marriage of many people? Should polygamy be legalized? To justify the illegality of polygamy marriage in modern liberal democracy, it must be demonstrated that it would cause significant harm to allow it. First, empirical evidence reveals disturbing correlation between polygyny as a currently practiced and endangered women, a link used by judges in many countries to enforce a ban on polygamy. For example, compared to monogamous women, women in polygyny marriage are far more likely to experience abuse, depression, and poverty. Women often cannot exert any control over the addition of a new wife by their husband, contributing to feeling of helplessness and emotional abuse. Second, there is reason to worry about whether polygamous wives are meaningfully consenting to their marriage due to high level of social and economic pressure. Within the North American fundamentalist hormone community, there tend to be great social pressure to young girls to marry an older husband who will have many wives. If they try to live married, they risk losing their social and economic stability because they tend to be shunned by their communities. Likewise, in certain Muslim communities in the UK, anecdotal evidence suggests that women agree to enter polygamy marriage mainly because of the security provided by them, even though their first preference was for monogamy. Ladies and gentlemen, when most people think of polygamy, they don't think about the case of 3 Colombian men. Instead, they describe that it's known as a polygamy from hub and spoke polygamy. Hub and spoke polygamy refers to multi-person marriage where there is a central individual or central couple who is married to one another. Polygyny, which constitutes the majority of unofficial and registered polygamy marriage in liberal democracy today. So far, referring to the example of hub and spoke polygamy where many women share husband. These tend to occur among a small number of Muslim and Mormon fundamentalist community. Ladies and gentlemen, in the state of Indonesia cannot enforce same-sex marriage into the form of regulation. Therefore, a same-sex marriage is again in the ideology of the state, Pancasila and Indonesian Constitution. The Indonesian Constitution addresses to the principle of the Almighty God as the core of Pancasila, which show that the Indonesian nation is a regulation nation. As a religious nation, it is true that they reject same-sex marriage because of deviant behavior. In addition to the UNDHAM or Unduham, the philosophical foundation of human rights is the second principle of Pancasila. Fair and civilized humanity as a civilized nation. Of course, Indonesia rejects sexual deviation from the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender or LGBT communities. The existing law has firmly closed the gap for same-sex marriage. For example, the rule regarding marriage in Article 1 of Law Number 1 of 1974 states, marriage is an inner and outer bond between a man and a woman as husband and wife, with the aim of forming a happy eternal family. And then chairman of the Indonesian Ulama Council or MUI Center, Yunahar Ilyas said, it is natural that in Islamic law, homosexual perpetrators are threatened with capital punishment because homosexuals are very threatening human rights. Yunahar continued, homosexuality is the number one threat to human rights because it threatens human existence. According to him, homosexuality will also affect the survival of the human population. Polyandry, married or more than one husband, is legally Islamic. This practice of polyandry is prohibited or unlawful. The acts of women who are married in polyandry, including adultery and adultery, can result in criminal sanction in accordance with Article 284 of the criminal law. In Indonesia, the marriage law addresses to the principle of monogamy. This is evident from the provision in Article 3, Paragraph 1 UUD number 1 of 1974 concerning marriage. A male may only have a wife, and a woman can only have a husband. Risks then can be experienced if multi-partner legalise. Number 1, lack of certainty regarding the resulting offspring. Number 2, decreasing birth rate. And the last, high rates of household failure. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for the time that give to me. My name is Bilqisty Alghifary as a third affirmative speaker. We are affirmative team agree. This house will legalize multi-partner marriage with any gender. I disagree with the opinion of second negative speaker, who say that polygamy only hurt women. I will mention the benefit of polygamy. The first, more time and great opportunity to study. As a polygamous wife, she will have more time to study and take good care of herself and her home, while that husband is at his wife's other home. 2. The wife becomes more motivated due to the best for their husband and because he has a rival. Women assume that other women are their enemies, including your second wife is their rival and enemy. To get more attention from you, women will be more motivated to do the best for you. Women will be more eager to do the best for you. 3. Relieve the burden and daily responsibility of taking care of the household because it can share it with other wife. A polygamous wife will have lighter duties and obligation in managing the household and her husband because he can share it with other wife. She is more able to have more time to take care and pamper himself when the husband's with his other wife. 4. Opening opportunities for women be able to develop themselves. If all time you are running out to serve your husband and do all the household chores yourself and are still busy with your career and work, when your husband polygamy, you will have more opportunity to develop yourself. Do more what is your talent and passion. 5. Mention the honor and dignity of women. Instead of you only being a mistress and married man, it's better if you get married and get clear status. Your life will also be more secure with a legal marital status in the eyes of state and religious law. 6. The last, avoid sexual transmitted disease. Instead of letting your husband continue to engage in illegal relation with many women, it's better that you allow your husband who has good intention to polygamy with one woman, as long as you have confirmed that your future husband-wife is a good woman who is maintained in her honor. The conclusion is, we can conclude that the government can legalize polyamory and it does not violate human rights or legal provisions because essential human beings are free to make their choice. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Siti Nurullita Azizah as the third negative speaker. We are negative team disagree with the statement that this house would legalize multi-partner marriage with any gender. I disagree with the statement third affirmative speaker that polygamy has benefits. Until now, scientific studies of polyamory have experienced basis and methodological problems. Number 1. A large number of studies rely on small samples. often recruit from referral, snowball sampling, and websites aimed at polyamory. Individuals recruited this way tend to be relatively homogeneous in terms of values, beliefs, and demographic, which limits the generalization of findings. Number 2, these samples also tend to choose themselves against individuals with positive experience, whereas those who find polyamory to be depressed or painful may be more reluctant to participate in research. Number 3, most studies rely entirely on the self-report step. In general, self-reports about the level of welfare and satisfaction of relationship over time are flawed and are often based on trust rather than actual experience. Number 4, self-report action also risks self-improvement bias because subjects may feel pressure to give positive response about their well-being and relationship satisfaction in the face of stereotypical traits. Number 5, this difference is noted by Morse et al. In 2014, who compared respondents who expressed an interest in non-monogamous consensus drawn from the general population with those taken from online communities aimed at discussing positive aspects of non-monogamy. Number 6, in academic work that involves voluntary interviews, participants are almost always the sole partner of the relationship or small groups where certain partners are not present. So one side views are not about the relationship. Number 7, polyamorous relationships present practical difficulties. Number 8, one common complaint from participants is time management because more partner means one has to divide one's time and attention between them, leaving less for each of them. Number 9, relate is that the complexity of the arrangement can cause so much effort spent on relationship that personal and individuals' needs can be ignored. Number 10, another potential problem is power dynamics that are out of balance. As one partner has greater research, is more attractive or better at starting a new relationship, making the arrangement clearly more beneficial for the partner than the other. Number 11, a strong emphasis on communication can accidentally marginalize a partner who is less able to speak. And finally, negotiation that sometimes complicate rules and limits of this relationship can be emotionally exhausting, as can reconciling situation where our partner goes outside those boundaries. So, ladies and gentlemen, marriage is a sacred thing recognized by religion and country. Improper marriage are considered invalid and not recorded. So it cannot be justified. The multi-partner marriage of any gender are legal. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.